Cops humiliate little black girl for talking back, unaware her father is FBI director. Where are you watching from? Type your city in the comments. You might just get a shout out in the next video. Hit like and subscribe for some good luck today. The sun was still crawling up the horizon when 10-year-old Amara Johnson tied the last lace of her pink sneakers and ran toward the corner store with $2 clutched in her hand. She was excited. It was Saturday morning, and her father had promised pancakes. But they were out of milk, and Amara wanted to surprise him by running to the store herself. The neighborhood was quiet, birds chirping above, the streets glowing golden in the early morning light. Amara hummed as she skipped, braids bouncing against her cheeks. She was just a little girl, confident, innocent, unafraid. But then, red and blue lights splashed against her. A police cruiser rolled to a slow stop beside her, the tires crunching against the gravel. 2 officers inside eyed her like she had no business existing. "Hey you," barked the driver, Officer Redding. "Where you going in such a hurry?" Amara froze, clutching her dollar bills tighter. "To the store, sir," she said, her voice soft. The officer smirked, exchanging glances with his partner, Officer Blake. "The store? At this hour? You sure you're not out here causing trouble?" Amara blinked in confusion. "No, sir. Just milk for pancakes." Blake chuckled. "Kids these days think they can talk to us however they want." Amara frowned, not fully understanding but unwilling to be treated like she had done something wrong. She squared her shoulders and said quietly, "I'm not causing trouble. I'm just going to the store." That was all it took. Redding flung the car door open and stepped out, towering over the little girl. "Watch your tone," he snapped. "You don't talk back to officers." Amara's lips trembled. "I didn't mean—" "Quiet!" Redding barked, the word slicing like a whip. Blake stepped out too, circling her like she was prey. "What's in your hand?" "Drugs. Stolen money." Amara held out her crumpled bills. "It's just for milk." Redding snatched it from her. "You call this respect? You think you can sass us and then play innocent?" Tears welled in Amara's eyes. "Please, that's all I have." The officers laughed. "You need to be taught a lesson. Maybe we'll take you down to the station, scare you straight." In that moment, a woman across the street stepped onto her porch, mouth open in shock. She shouted, "Leave that child alone." But the officers turned, hand on their holster, and snarled back, "Mind your business, lady, unless you want to spend the morning in cuffs too." She shrank back, terrified. Amara's knees shook. She had never felt so small, so powerless. But then, another voice cut through the morning air. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" The officers turned. Walking up the block, tall and broad-shouldered in a black jacket, was Director Nathaniel Johnson, Amara's father. The man who oversaw counterterrorism task forces. The man whose word carried weight with the president himself. But right now, he wasn't the FBI director. He was just a father watching his baby girl being humiliated in the street. "Daddy!" Amara cried, running into his arms. He scooped her up, cradling her against his chest as he glared at the officers. Redding folded his arms. "Sir, we caught your daughter mouthing off. Kids need discipline. She was being disrespectful." "Disrespectful?" Nathaniel's voice was low, controlled, but dangerous. "She's 10 years old. She told you she was going to the store for milk." Blake smirked. "We don't tolerate talking back. Doesn't matter if she's 10 or 20. Nathaniel stepped forward, his eyes cold steel. "Do you know who I am?" Redding scoffed. "Doesn't matter. Nobody talks back to us." Nathaniel pulled out his leather badge holder, snapping it open with deliberate force. The gold seal of the Federal Bureau of Investigation gleamed in the morning sun. But not just any badge. The inscription beneath it read, "Director." The officers froze. Nathaniel's voice dropped into a razor's edge. "I run the FBI. I train agents on interrogation, on constitutional law. I oversee operations that protect this entire nation. And you two, grown men with guns, chose to harass and belittle a little girl walking to the store for milk." Silence. Their smirks evaporated. Nathaniel shifted Amara on his hip. His voice thundered now. You strip her of dignity because she dared speak up? You humiliate a child because you mistake courage for disrespect? You don't protect the community, you poison it. A crowd had begun gathering, drawn by the flashing lights and shouting. Phones were raised, recording everything. Redding stammered, We didn't know." "That's the problem," Nathaniel snapped. "You didn't need to know who she was. She's a child. You failed her. And you failed your badge." The tension crackled in the air. Blake looked like he wanted to vanish. Nathaniel turned to the crowd. "You all saw what happened. You know the truth." He pulled out his phone, already dialing. "Internal Affairs will handle the rest." The officers tried to protest, but their voices drowned under the weight of murmurs, gasps, and camera shutters. Within minutes, 2 more cruisers arrived, this time from the precinct's Internal Investigations Unit. The crooked officers were led away, their faces pale, their hands shaking. Nathaniel knelt in front of Amara, his voice softening. "Baby, listen to me. Never, ever let anyone make you feel small for speaking the truth. Talking back isn't wrong when you're standing up for yourself." Her tears fell, but she nodded. "I was scared, Daddy." "I know," he whispered, kissing her forehead. "But you were brave. Braver than they'll ever be." The crowd applauded softly. Some clapped, others wiped away tears. In that moment, they weren't just witnessing a father protecting his daughter. They were witnessing a reminder that dignity is not given by authority, but by humanity. Later, the footage went viral. People across the country watched as 2 officers tried to break a child's spirit, and failed, because her father stood tall beside her. But Nathaniel didn't care about the headlines. He only cared that his daughter knew the truth. That no badge, no uniform, no threat, had the right to strip her of her voice. And that was the moral that echoed long after the lights faded. Power doesn't come from silencing the weak. It comes from protecting them.